Hello everyone, today we're going to be doing something super important. I'm going to be showing and building something I've been working on for the past few years. I've been testing and I've come up with a little secret sauce, I would say. Today I'm going to be building the best possible DMR SPR after my personal experience and testing. When I built the SPR, it had to fill out a few criteria. First, it had to be lightweight. It's important to me when I'm going to be running around with a very long Airsoft replica that it's super lightweight, since I have batteries, I have power banks, I have GoPro, and I have a scope cam on it. It's super important for me that I can run around all day and actually feel agile. Second, to me it's very important I can get very high joules, so I've set up the entire build to make it a long build so I can run high joules and still make it efficient without wasting all my air and without being too loud. Third, I wanted to be able to lift very heavy BBs. Since I'm using very high joules, the best way to get a good shooting Airsoft replica is by having very heavy BBs. So heavy BBs, high joules, a lightweight build. That's my three must-haves. So when my three must-haves is fulfilled, then we just need to make it look pretty. Now when I reach my three criteria, I need to thank the companies that helped me reach. First, I want to thank Vortex. Vortex is supplying me again. They're supplying me with a very good scope and a very good mount for my Airsoft DMR. And I wouldn't have been able to get that without Vortex Denmark. So go support them, check the stuff. They have a bunch of cool stuff, and you know, they're actually the sole supplier to Denmark for Vortex optics. Then I want to thank Umbrella Armory. Umbrella Armory has supplied me with a rail. They supplied me with an R-Hub barrel, and this is the bread and butter, the R-Hub barrel at least, of the build that makes it shoot so freaking well. Then I want to thank Nimrod. This is the BB brand that's worked for me. It's giving me the best experience testing over years. They supplied me for years and sponsored me for years, so why not use the best for what I believe to be the best DMR? Then I want to thank Maxxmodel. Maxxmodel supplied me with a lot of furniture. I've worked with Max for years, helped them develop products. It's only fitting that I use Maxxmodel for my DMR. Then I want to thank Gorilla Airsoft. Gorilla Airsoft develops MCUs and triggerboards for the MTW. In this build, I will feature the MTW FCU, I think is the correct name. It's a magnetic triggerboard for my DMR, which is obviously a little bit overpowered, but... Then I want to thank Wolverine Airsoft. They supplied me with the MTW. It's the Forge Tactical. It's an older generation. It's like a Series 2. I don't know. It's before the Metal Feet. I want to thank Wolverine for that. Obviously, I wouldn't have been able to do this build without having the Airsoft replica. Then, last but not least, I want to thank Hardware Shop. It's a Danish Airsoft store. They have an online store and an actual shop you can go to. It's one of the longest standing Airsoft shops in all of Denmark, and they supply me with the magazines for this build. Obviously, all of these companies that support me, show them some generosity, buy from them, support them so we can do more nice builds in this future. Every single company on this list is companies that I believe in. Anyways, let's get to the build video. Today is a little special one. It's a little bit different. I hope you enjoy the Airsoft Toy ASMR. Not getting the right tools will definitely prevent you from scratching your equipment. When the end plate is removed, a small spring can fall out, so be careful. Remove the trigger spring before you can get the pins out. The ambi was already removed since it had to be cut off before the video. Don't tighten these screws too much because you will never get it off again. Holding the selector will help you when you're tightening the screw. If you're swapping out the mag catch, stick with the stock spring since it works the best. Thank you, Gorilla. While you're installing your trigger board, remember to push in the mag catch so you can install the trigger board safely. Otherwise you might break off the pin for empty mag detection. For the pin in the front, it can be very finicky to install since you need to have 2 O-rings on it. So the right way is to hold your finger with 1 O-ring, press it in like I'm showing, and then lay it down so you can push it through another O-ring. Otherwise it's almost impossible. To safely install the pin, have 1 O-ring towards the trigger board and 1 towards the receiver. Then it's completely fastened. Since the MTW is mil-spec, not every single barrel nut fits, but if you use spacers, you can make it work. There's also a plastic piece with a screw in you can unscrew so every single rail fits on.
These screws from factory can sometimes be a little bit loose, so just tighten them. In general, it's very important to stabilize your barrel. Remember to use a washer installing suppressors. Remember, it's airsoft, so a tall cantilever is very important. If you don't have a bubble to level your scope, the best way is simply to look through the scope, take the center line and align it all the way down your rail. If you're gonna use these magazines, it's very important to fill them up and leave them full for a few days so they work perfectly when you get to the field. And this is the final build, bask in all its glory. This is truly what I believe, after years of testing, what turns out to be the most efficient Airsoft DMR that fits exactly to my playstyle. What do you think about it?
Hello YouTube, the build is done. I have now built what I believe to be the absolutely best option for a DMR. You might be like, Kaslab, why can you say this is the absolute best option? Well, over the past years, I've tested a bunch of different products, a bunch of different barrels, a bunch of different setups, a bunch of different buckings. I have a bunch of test videos on my channel, and I've been building up to wanting to build my ultimate version of a DMR. Some of you might be really pissed and say, this is not a 308. Well, in Denmark, that's not the rules. Thank God for that. We don't need that. We don't need to have a bigger barrier to get into Airsoft. It's just cringe. We need to love this sport because it's amazing. It has amazing people in it. It has an amazing community. Let's not ruin it by trying to make a bunch of more rules. All these parts here I've chosen. Handpicked Umbrella Armory X-Force rail. I've been a fan of Umbrella Armory since I wanted to start Airsoft and before. I used to watch Dodge the Hole again, so that I get to do stuff with Umbrella Armory now is it's kind of like a full circle moment to me. That's why I've chose this rail. Then I have all the Bushmaster suppressor, outer barrel, and buffer tube in carbon. You're like, why using that? Well, because I get rid of an insane amount of weight. I have a full video where I fully build a full carbon MTW also with a carbon rail also, where I show how much you lose in weight, and it's insane. Like it feels like a toy. The only reason why this doesn't feel like a toy is because I chose the Vortex. Real steel LPO on an airsoft gun, is that worth it? If you're asking if it's worth it, it's not. Don't buy one. But if you want the best without having to pay 2,000-3,000 for an LPVO, this is literally the option to get the Strike Eagle 1-8 first focal point. You want the best of the best clarity, the best of everything, without having to sacrifice your whole family and your kidney. This is the option. This is what I believe to be the best option in clarity. Then inside Umbrella Armory Aho barrel with max hop-up unit and their flat bucking that is blue. I don't know what it is, which version or what is named. Is it their own? I have no idea. But it's the entire Umbrella Armory setup. I've tested this over the years and all my airsoft replicas literally use Umbrella Armory Ahop. This is the best option I've ever found. Nothing shoots as good for me. And obviously I have the magazines. You're like, have you also tested these magazines for years? No, they haven't been out for years. I borrowed some of my friends, I've tried it. This is literally the version I want to go for, and the look. I love the look. A good tip, if you want to use them, fill up the magazines. Leave them overnight with, just put like 20 gram BBs in it. You don't need to use your expensive precision BBs. Just fill cheap BBs in it, leave in a few days, and then just take it out, then they're ready. Fill the magazines to 160 rounds and you will never be disappointed. Obviously, when you want to build the best, you need to use the best. This just works well for me. It's never let me down. They take feedback. I told them I hate when they come in plastic bags. Look what there is now. It's literally in plastic tubes. What do you call it? Bottles. They listen to feedback. I've had a huge amount of success with Nimrod. So this is the entire build video from start to finish, my thoughts and ideas. I hope the different way of building was a little bit soothing and it was a little bit more interesting, just me yapping like crazy in the entire video, because I yapped before and now after. So yeah, if you like this kind of video, like, subscribe, leave a comment, and go support all the companies that was a part of this video. Vortex Denmark, aka Astro, Umbrella Armory EU. It's very important. Umbrella Armory and Umbrella Armory EU is not the same company. Maxxmodel Airsoft, Gorilla Airsoft, the best FCUs I've seen so far. Then I want to thank Wolverine Airsoft, obviously, for sending them to W that I completely took apart, and now it's not what they sent me. Sorry, Wolverine. I love your brand. I've always supported it. And last but not least, hardballshop.dk. They support me with the magazines. They support me with these, a bunch of them. I love them. They look amazing. By the way, this is one of the airsoft shops that always have stock. A lot of airsoft companies in Denmark doesn't always have stock. Hardball Shop probably have you. Tell them Kaslab sent you. Thank you to all the companies. I freaking appreciate you. Thank you for being a part of this project, and thank you for helping me build my dream airsoft DMR.